All right, welcome to another edition of Canadian Corner. It's been a while, been a hot second,
Been about a
uh,
year.
been about a
Some would
year,
say.
and now I'm trying to find. There we go, the best of three screens so that I can go through the bands. We have Volskaya band. Oh no, we have Infernal band, Dragonshire band, Braxis Holdout band, and Alterac band, as we can see on the screen. And Strange Team Comp has taken us to Infernal Shrines. Uh, This is an outdated replay cast, so any bugs and issues, I apologize for, but sometimes it happens with replay casts. Also, a bit rusty, and I'm sure my audio sucks as well. So all these things will be sorted out hopefully throughout the season. Joined by AG Silver AG, also known as just Silver. Silver,
And
say
also
hello.
known as Silver, Silver, Silver to
Depending on
some
the
people.
caster, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
We, for full transparency, we are from Under Noob Management. So we double as scouting here, but I also do the weekly power rankings. So just so everyone knows my involvement in the community, we're gonna move into game one here between Strange Team Comp and Mallow Oats. Uh, Both of these, I don't have a ton of history with these teams. I don't know a ton about them, so this season they're kind of new, kind of learning what they're all about. Let's sync up Silver so that we can start the gameplay. So on
I'm
go, three,
okay.
2, 1, go. All right. So as we load in here, we are on the correct side. So I'm gonna go to the in-game window there. So on the side of Strange Team Comp, we have Empress Sena on the Chromie. We have uh, Michelin. There you go. Oh my god, that was
Make
bad.
sure that they're all
On
make
the
sure they're all on
Kerrigan.
top of each other too.
Yeah. Bricky is, I'm guessing, on the Joanna because he's the tank player. Doctor Evil is on the Anduin, and Jeff is separating onto the Leoric. On the
And on the
side.
other side,
There
oh
you go. You
sorry,
go
you
ahead.
want me?
No, it's
Okay.
been a year.
Yeah, no worries. On the other side, on Mallow Oats, we have Crafty Devil. Is that on a Sylvanas? We have How do you pronounce that? Skeeto on the Stukov. Durka on the Diablo. Saint Terminator on the Blaze, and Pie Maker on Tychus.
Yeah, and what do you think of these two comps, Silver? Your first impression out of the gate?
The thing that catches my eye the most, obviously, is the Kerrigan. You don't really see that too often coming out of Strange Team Comp. Sorry, yeah, that's Strange Team Comp.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, to be honest, but I don't know how much it's going to get done this game into Diablo Blaze. But I'm excited.
It might be a stun pit for sure. People like Kerrigan on this map because of the wave clear on the objective, but also it's kind of a 4-man double soak, so that you can stack that quest presumably if Kerrigan goes into that
Yeah,
fairly fast.
the shields are nothing to sneeze at if you can stay on that objective a little bit before the engagement. Like, look at our shields now; are pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would agree. Looking quickly at the side of Mallow Oats, like obviously you have that beefy front line. Tychus is gonna be peeled for a lot, but I don't know whose main target is. Maybe Kerrigan, because with Joanna, it's that blind is pretty annoying. Plus the D shield can really stall out the burst that Tychus usually wants to provide onto tanks. As we see a quick challenge here on the bottom camp, but it's going to turn into more of just a skirmish now as both teams kind of posture, already capturing their siege camps.
The one thing I am a little worried about is just the Joe's blind ability onto the DPS of Mallow Oats. Like, they're kind of both AA, especially the Sil level 1 talent, specking into that, percent health with 3 stacks. I'm kind of concerned that the Joe's might just be too good of a counter, just from a tank's perspective.
Yeah, I agree. Both teams kind of taking turns clearing the camp while pressuring each other off. But Sylv showed mid, but no, everyone backs off again. Yeah, we have 2 down now. As the fight breaks out.
Well, Diablo walking into Joe. We'll see how that plays out expectedly. Nothing happening.
Yeah. I will say it's low souls for Diablo at this point in the game, so advantage Bricky in terms of tanking this until oh my god, that silence was nasty.
Oh,
good combo.
Oh, there should be the camp over to Mallow.
And
correct?
GG. Yeah. Game over.
Yeah. Alright, next game.
The camp they were fighting over for like 4 minutes finally got decided.
And I'd be a little curious how much value it's actually going to get, because it might give them Mallow positioning on objective, but they do have to do the long rotate here. At least the Sylve does.
Yeah.
Versus stay bottom Snoke.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to give Mallow Oats positioning on this objective with the front line that they have, because it's going to be hard to take it back.
Especially, I guess Joe could potentially use her D to get in there, but then, you know, that's losing a lot of survivability off the bat. I don't really like that.
Yeah.
But it does look like Mallow is playing fairly far back. They're not really standing their ground too well. Until...
No, but it's only a 6 monkey lead at this point, so... no, a bit more now. It's a bit larger. As we see a big stun coming in from Blaze. And they have pushed them off the site fairly effectively here.
Yeah. No, I very much like it, and the Diablo looks like he's down. I think you're a second or two ahead of me, so you'll have to say. No, he gets out.
No, he gets out. Yeah, the silences have come up big, but at the same time, yeah, you're seeing that early game Diablo suffering a little bit. And the wave clear value, oh, the huge silence comes out on the Chromie and a big stun, and that is a kill onto Chromie. Just as I was about to compliment Strange Team Comp, Kerrigan does get the return kill though, and gets out just barely, and this is coming down to the wire. It looks like, yeah, Mallow Oats is going to take first objective. So that's as I expected. It got a bit spicy near the end of that. Go ahead.
I do think it's worth noting that Sylvanas was the one who was killed out, which is actually a big detriment to their pushing power, because that means the towers can't be turned off. Right?
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
This is really going to be doing a lot less damage, and I think that 1-for-1 trade really was not good for... I mean, it technically was good for Mallow because they got the objective off of it, but the kills themselves are not a fair trade.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting a bit less than you would want. Half a fort plus wall. That's about on par for what you get for subjective Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, I'd say it's a little more. Typically, fort doesn't take too much damage, but...
But Strange Team Comp doesn't have that typical AA that you want to be able to clear out that objective, so...
And was Kerrigan even there for that?
No, Kerrigan got some stat quests top, Leo got stat quests bottom, so you kept equal in soak at the cost of some tower health. Oof. Yeah. As Dr. Evil is coming in clutch, they need to use the Leap of Faith twice now, or 3 times, in which it directly saved a life. Yeah.
No, it's 2 times. There's 1 bot and 2 bot.
And
did they use Leap of Faith mid at all?
I don't... if they did it, I don't know if it was directly saving a life, whereas the 2 times I've seen it has, like, been a certain death for whoever got pulled.
We do see Blaze, though, up top, losing pretty badly against the Leoric.
Yeah, that's to be expected. I really like the Leo pick. Let's look at the build. It's not clear if he's going full suck build quite yet. Be interested to see if they go to level 20 suck, just because it's so good into both those tanks.
Yeah. I also kind of really don't like the Blaze's level 7. Like, the level 7 is where you get a lot of your, like, tank CC, which you technically don't have to get because the Diablo's the main tank. But more oil, while good for like slowing out the fight, I think is less good than the less spell power or less attack speed. Probably spell power in this case.
Probably, because Kerrigan's kind of a hybrid damage, and then Chromie's pure mage. So
yeah, and they really are specializing on their burst, and if you can reduce that, you can really save a life. But
we do see alts online, which we didn't talk about at all. Any surprising picks? We see March, which is spicy, but also not too spicy into the front line on the other team.
No. We also see Slowing Sands, which is the same vein. I've actually seen a lot of rewinds lately on Chromie, but, you know, both are very viable. It's kind of preference. As well as same thing for the Wailing Arrow on the Sylvanas. Both ults I think are viable, but it's worth noting that they're not going on my control pick comp. Oh, I guess and Massive Shove too. Same thing.
Massive Shove. I assume that's the... Ooh, as we see a huge stun and combo from Dirk.
But it's a Full Souls Diablo.
Yeah. That's a... Dirk is an ex-player from Beef Boys, and I remember his Diablo being quite scary. And we're seeing that come to fruition here so far into this game.
Yeah. Are Beef Boys in Nexus this season, or did they break up?
They went Nexus, but they kind of did like a full revamp, so they have like 3 new members. So
because I know Sexy Xy's not on their team either.
yeah, so Dirk came to this Mallow Oats, and then Smart Killer went down to B on a B team. So it's kind of Root Beer Guy and a band of newbies, not newbies, like new to Beef
no
Boys.
newbies. Newbies is the right.
So we see Strange Team Comp giving up the objective for Split Soak, and Kerrigan continue to work on that quest. I think you had to do this based on level 13 and all of that jazz, but this is going to be a free fort if Mallow Oats gets it, because there's no wall to protect. Ooh. As we see a huge Light Bomb combo coming onto the Sylvanas, so far looking like the target they want to get. And maybe they can save fort now? Oh, as this Punisher though is coming in, does he see anybody? Oh.
Punisher doesn't care.
Yeah, I think I'm very surprised nobody died in that engagement. I don't know about you.
Yeah. Well, so. Sylv died, but
I meant like when everyone was like under towers, under Punisher, also 5% health. Like that was very close. But the Sylvanas kill was clutch because they might, and I don't think they're gonna save this fort. But
I mean, it is Frozen Punisher, so like Sylvanas is a little redundant in this case.
Right, but you're not saving the fort, but you are saving your wall on keep. So that's a huge value for sure.
Maybe less so when the Joe dies. It's a little harder to push up.
Yeah, I don't love the pushing power with Sylv not there though, but they will get mid for it for sure.
It's better with the Odin. It's also worth noting that Tychus has decided to go the level 4 quest for attack speed rather than the bigger they fall or the longer D, as I like to call it. The long D. So like he does have a little better pushing power than you're probably used to, especially with the Odin, because I think the quest affects Odin as well.
Right. Thank you for that assassin knowledge coming in, because I played frontline for the last 3 years consistently and know nothing about them. They're a mysterious breed to me. At this point in the game, this is where I normally ask this question, Silver. Strange Team Comp has been giving, like soft giving stuff, because they need to either catch up and soak, stack quests, or they got picked in a certain way and they need to like rebound from that. At what moment do they need to stop giving? What are they waiting for? And where's that going to turn?
I think they're done with waiting. They're just, well, not really, but they're going to wait for the next objective to take a really big next fight, which is a little obvious, but I think it's because Kerrigan should be done her quest by then. She's at 63 right now. And they have been slowly winning fights when they take a proper 5v5, not a Punisher. Like we saw the last fight at the objective, they actually won. Right. I think they just have to not pick the tank with the Kerrigan combo. For obvious reasons.
I agree. You're going to get 16 talent tiers. Probably, you definitely won't get 20 by the time next objective hits. But you do have this like passive push in your bottom 2 lanes, which is a bit of a worry. You know, not... Yeah, I'm interested to see how this, or when this game turns.
Well, Kerrigan should finish the quest of that wave. She does.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I am also I'm very interested about Tychus choosing the attack speed quest. I'm curious for the logic behind that. I don't see that very often.
Is that called Master Assassin? Yeah.
Yeah, especially in NGS games where, you know, they're typically low death rates.
Or one-sided, if they're...
Yeah. But, you know, I guess they're banking on the Leo's trade value, you know? But... see.
Maybe. I do know Mallow is kind of a team fight oriented kind of team. So
the other one provide a lot of like percent health damage.
For sure, for sure.
Guess it might be good against backline. Sorry,
Maybe it's more of a sustaining talent compared to the bursty because you're not getting that burst into Joe.
Yeah, and he is choosing. He did, I think, choose the 16 heal. No, he did not. He did the Q.
He did the double
He
Q.
ran roofs. Yeah, that's a very weird build. Because normally grenades at 16 for 5% health of any target you hit. Sorry, I play a bit of Tychus, so I'm very confused. Do you want to talk about any of your tank builds there, Liddell?
I don't know. I go with Joe went double blind, which just bores the hell out of me. But I mean, that's the right talent to pick. But I'm just looking at Joe builds makes me fall asleep, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Full W build, which is.
What do you think about the? Yeah.
I like that. I like that on this map. You're hitting a lot of junk that's giving you mini heals along the way, and kind of going for longer sustained fights. So you don't want the Q build. For sure.
You also probably get a lot of auto attacks with the Leo and Joe zoning you.
Yeah.
With blinds and CC.
Or at least you don't want to trade auto attacks in that scenario.
Wow.
Ooh, as we see a huge stun, but a silence follow up. Light Bomb is going to hit onto one person. Diablo falls, but is going to come back. Leo falls, trait value, hashtag. As Mallow Oats is going to have to retreat here because they have the lower health bonus, but they all tap. And this is going to continue as both teams ignore the objective. But it should be noted the longer this goes on, the more advantage for Mallow Oats because they are passive pushing bottom. And it is a 5v4, I forgot because Diablo is back.
Yeah, although Leoric does have quick res, so he'll be back very soon, and right here. So they only have to wait about 10 to 15 more seconds.
As we see another engage from Bricky, getting tossed around. A bit of a disjointed fight.
Leoric's about to come back.
And
Leoric's just zoning the back line, so the front line could be wailed upon. But which one will go down first?
Health bar's on the side of... Oh, and it will be a Tychus. And it will be a Tychus, Light Bomb follow-up, and a squishy Diablo falls. Do we get more kills? And another full wipe? Not gonna happen today. But that is an impressive pushback from Strange Team Comp. What do you think went wrong there for Mallow Oats? Because they looked kind of comfortable. They had a 5v4 for about 12 seconds, and then the fight just turned.
I think the Leoric was just too much on their backline. Like, both tanks were in the Pit of Doom in the middle there with the monkeys, while Leoric rezzed right on top of the Sylvanas and just zoned both the healer, well, most importantly the healer and the Sylvanas. So those tanks were just getting wheeled upon, and, you know, no heals for a tank is a sad tank.
For sure. I'm going to respond to something in the chat in a second, but also, since coming from Tiny Dancers, we are the master of double tank. I don't know if I love Blaze and Diablo on the same team. Oh, as we see a quick Tychus kill. Light Bomb follow-up. Is this going to be a snowball to game as the weak Diablo is hurting? He manages to get into the thing, and he's... Oh, this is... So much is going on, and I can't keep up. My shoutcasting is not fast enough for this. As Sylvanas goes down, Diablo goes down. 3 dead, no damage up for the side of Mallow Oats. And it's a core call. And this snowballed out of control rather quickly. One objective win was all it takes, and they turn, and Strange Team Comp takes game 1 of this series.
You asked when did they stop waiting, and I think the answer is very clear.
Yeah, that became evident. So I'm gonna finish my thought really quickly on the double tank. I think Diablo and Blaze kind of want to do the same thing, and that's go forward. And when in a double tank, you usually want someone engaging, but also someone peeling, while you're enabling hyper carries. Correct?
Yeah, although I think Blaze can do a good amount of peeling with his W's, especially if you don't quite need hard CC, because although he has his E, it's a little inconsistent sometimes, and you know, it's down 10 seconds on CC.
So yeah, maybe you just need more communication now on who's going to be the peeling and who's going to be the diving. Because
Yeah, I also
I think the instinct is they both want to go forward, though. Usually
yeah
on those tanks, right?
yeah for sure. Well, they're both looking for picks typically, and especially like I mentioned the Blaze at 7, like that is very big peel tool because a lot of Blaze are more about slowing them and reducing their damage.
Mhm.
Like I also would have loved to see, for example, like at 4 maybe the reduced damage or the bigger oil spills instead of the increased basic attack because he didn't really actually do anything with additional monster and mercenary burn. He kind of just was top, and you could clear top just fine without specking into it.
Right.
So, but I think it's also worth knowing the fight that they lost, Diablo was no souls because he just rezzed. I think that also played a big factor to how squishy they were.
I agree there. Um, also, just reading the chat, which is something I don't do often, is we have an explanation for that Tychus build.
Mm.
Um, Master Assassin affects the attack speed of Odin.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
That makes sense then. So it's for that.
So it's the only
I guess you might
talent
not have
that
thought he would get a
benefits
lot of
Odin.
value. The blind on the Joe.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a great tool to clear out objective and also push with objective. So I can see if you're like
Mm.
banking on winning those objectives, going that build as well. For
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of forgetting on both the Blaze and the Tychus build. It's just I play both characters, so I'm deeply familiar with them.
All right, and gonna quickly
Switch to game 2.
switch to, which is Towers of Doom. I'm gonna guess it was picked by Strange Team Comp because who would go
Yeah.
second pick willingly in this meta? Um,
Well, the old meta, but this is still Zag Vala meta, where you ban them always.
uh, yeah, and while I'm switching over replays and stuff, I should also mention at this point, one sec, that since I do the power rankings, I created a bit of hubbub because I put Mallow Oats first and Strange Team Cop last, and from my experience in this, everyone loves to prove the person doing the rankings wrong, and so far it looks like the power rankings are going to get flipped a little bit, and I love it. I love when it changes each week because you can go back to week 1 after 8 weeks or so and prove to me what an idiot I am.
Yeah, I think the only proof is that you know nothing.
For sure, for sure. Especially a lot of new faces in this div because I've been in kind of an A East like meta with like 6 of the same teams every year, and that's all changing. With a lot of them moving up to Nexus.
Were you right a single time this week for all the matches with your?
I don't think so. I'd have to really go back and look. Definitely, but I think definitely like the lower half, the middle lower half of the tier list. I was just kind of randomly guessing because I'm like, these are Div B teams I know nothing about, or like ex Div B teams, and so I was like, I'll just put them here, I guess. So,
I'm having a little trouble loading the game, by the way, so I'm gonna be a minute.
Yeah, my hero's crashed, which I remember happening on replay cast. So I'll be right. I'll be relaunching the game in a second.
Yeah, especially there's no it's a new patch, so it's awful.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the rules.
Okay.
Something auto launched. I don't know if that's the game or Heroes itself. We'll find out. Yeah. Did anything stick out to you play wise last game, Liddell?
Sorry, I'm just responding. Yeah, there's some complaints about my microphone. I knew this would happen. I'm moving it farther away from my face. See if it does a better job. In terms of gameplay, no, I think that was a classic. Like, wait, and I love the patience from Strange Team Comp to wait out and realize when they don't have an advantage or they're not even equal in a certain fight, and be like, okay, we gotta wait this out and not put ourselves in a position where we're wiping and snowballing. And then they just waited for that power spike that hit at 16 apparently. And honestly, the thing with Stukov too is like Stukov puts out a lot of heals, but he doesn't have a lot of like saves for like people. It's not like anyone who can pull someone in or like a cleanse. And so a low souls Diablo mixed with a Stukov is a perfect recipe to get rolled, if you know what I mean. Because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
low health
He also
bar
went.
going in, and it's like
He also went massive shove too, and I think even though like they had a Chromie, Joanna, Leoric, like I think just with having the Kerrigan, I would have loved to see Swipe just as that like hard reset for a fight that I felt like they were missing.
mm-hmm.
Although to be honest though, the shove got a lot of value. There were some sometimes you're watching the fight, you just see someone disappear for 2 minutes.
For sure. So we have Towers of Doom coming up
I am
next.
loaded when you are.
I'm just a little bit behind. It's downloading right now.
Classic Blizzard.
Yes.
And that's when we're getting an update about this, but I know the real answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I fully fault them for not having a system to play outdated files. It's kind of a niche issue, but
yeah, but I know it's one that's been like asked about a lot because I'm pretty aware the replay system is just built off the StarCraft one, and like this is something that people have been asking for years in StarCraft because replay watching is very big in that scene.
Right. That's fair. Alright, getting endless loading screens here. I would love to be able to look at maybe the... Well, yeah, I can look at the comps early by going to the match link, so let's quickly do that. As we load in. Ooh, we have a Zeratul. I'm excited. A Zeratul Junkrat. Man, that's annoying. No early game value, but that's very annoying.
Yeah, I mean this is Towers of Doom. It's the game you're pretty much guaranteed late game if you don't get rolled every fight.
For sure.
But even then, it's still the last 10 minutes.
And we still see the Leo love coming out for Strange Team Comps. They definitely like it, so I'm sure they're happy about the new changes. Here we go.
Yeah, you got better wave clear, correct?
Yes. Wave clear got a huge buff. In that they were like, we don't want you to always have to pick Neo Peasants. So we'll buff his base kit, but then also buff Neo Peasants. And so it's like, well, why don't just more peasants then? Just more.
Yeah. Listen, Leoric's the new Zool.
With a better ult though, which is kind of scary. Although Zul's ult,
yeah,
more situational. But I mean, Leo's ult is considered in like pro scenes, like top tier.
Yeah. All
right, I'm at 0 seconds. If you're ready,
I am ready when you are.
3, 2, 1, go. Alright.
Alright, do you want to introduce blue side?
I'll do the blue side before they clump up. Jeff is on the Leoric, Empress Sena on the Junkrat, Dr. Evil on that right wing, and Michelin on the Zeratul. Oh, Bricky is AFK. Someone ping him. He is in spawn on the Joanna.
Yes. And over on Mallow Oats, we have Saint Terminator on Dahaka. We have Crafty Devil on Greymane. We have the Pie Maker on Li Ming. Anduin played by Solskido. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And definitely not. But Dirk is playing the Varian, who, if he doesn't go taunt, I will be shocked.
Ooh, did I turn the... Okay, now the music's going away now. Oh, it's still kind of loud. I'm going to turn it down.
Control M is disable music, for your information.
Ooh, that's fancy. Okay, we got a classic top variant Ming blow-up comp with even more fun with the Greymane and the Anduin root follow-up on one side, and then we have the late game please stall, please stall, please stall, now we win comp on the side of Strange Team comp.
Yeah, although even with the please stall, like I'm always a little worried when you have kind of Junkrat as almost a hyper DPS, like a solo carry. Because although Zeratul does do a lot of damage, like game pumps out, blow up, they don't really have a lot for the tanks. That's all I'm thinking. And Varian is quite a tank to go through.
I agree, although the new moving trap meta with Junkrat as a tank player, I don't want to exist. Especially as Varian.
It's pretty hellish. Although the Lyric does provide a little solution to that too with the percent health. He will help whittle down those Dahaka and Varian players.
Yeah. We also So Leo definitely wins the Soak War after 4, but Dahaka has those quick rotates, so we'll see if that comes in. That's kind of necessary, I would imagine, for Strange Team Comp to get picks pre-level 16, is the Dahaka rotate.
Yeah. I don't even know if they're like, who would they necessarily pick though? Because they have to like get a really good route by doing it on the Junkrat, like there, or you know, the Dahaka would have to go behind. They're just very mobile.
Another thing is Zero's really good at getting picks on the double soaker on this map because you have to double soak, but Zero tries to get ganks on the solo lane, but Dahaka is one of the tankiest bruisers at not getting ganked. So
he just doesn't care.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm also curious to what the Ming 7's gonna be, because this is a classic taunt Ming blow up combo. So I'm hoping Seeker, as I love to play Seeker Ming, but we'll see if they go Calamity as standard. That was a very good trap. Stun combo on Dirk.
Oh, I think I might be a bit. You might be a bit ahead of me on this one.
Oh. By how much if you had to eyeball it?
23, 2 minutes and 38, 2:39, 2:40.
Right.
2:44, 2:45. Oh!
Alright, we should be synced.
Zeratul gets away. Now that I say that about the Haka, I mean, that also applies to Leoric, though. They're both very ungankable solo lanes.
Yeah, but I would not say it's Mallow's game plan to gank the solo lane by any means. They can just 4-man bot and win that.
For sure.
Especially when Zeratul gets rooted and jumped on.
Oh, and we see a tongue drag, rotate,
boom,
and blow up.
Yeah, I don't know if Joe's getting out of here either.
I don't think they are. So, that's really rough. I would have liked Strange Team Comp to identify that that's not their fight to win a little earlier, because they probably didn't need to lose 2 people.
I think they were pushing up very hard pre-4, because, you know, Varian. But, you know, Varian's taunt now, and they have to respect that. They can't just jump up.
Yeah. Those 4 shots, I think you're willing to take as a trade, for the most part.
It's more the wall that I think is the big loss here, than the actual, like, lost towers.
The wall is definitely a loss. You don't have very good wave. It's okay. It's good enough wave clear, actually, on Mallow outside. I was gonna say it wasn't very good, but the Grey Ming kind of makes up for what the Ming lacks.
No, and the Ming can clear, like, if she needs to as well. Like, she's not awful at it. It is Calamity Ming, by the way, and Q-build Varian. Is there anything sticking out to you on that build?
Sorry, there's a huge fight breaking out, and Empress Sena is gonna escape. Just barely. Rookie has to activate his D as he walks out. My boy Varian's going my build, just noticed that. Love him for that. And we have W build, and it is a Calamity.
Ooh. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So, it'll be looking... I don't like the Calamity. I know this is me and I'm biased. I love my Seeker Ming. But like, you had the Variant for the setup. Use it. I know Calamity has the big blow-up potential, but like...
To be fair, I know you're pretty extreme about this. I will give fairness to the Ming player. You are dealing with a Zeratul. So the Calamity might be a Zeratul counter.
But if you're doing it to Zeratul, why go power hungry at 1? The mana 1 does provide magic resist. 50% if you hit your Q, which is really what you would use to survive the Zeratul.
Once again, your area of expertise, as Mallow Outs does count a cap bottom, and it looks like they're gonna cap mid as well as... Yeah, you're gonna have to break off here. Maybe stall a little bit to get Leo soak, but that's a fine line. You don't want to be giving kills into bottom fort over just 4 shots on the core. So... It will be capped over with no losses, so good job, Strange Team Comp, on kind of stalling that one out.
Although I think they did give some XP soak up, because I think now Stranger Team Comp will get 10s first. Oh, no, never mind. Mallows gets it by a very brief window. I'm wrong.
Yeah. both 10s for both sides, but didn't really see how this happened, but we do have half the fort down bottom, so that's quite weak. Probably a single camp push in will do it.
Yeah, I think that was gone during last objective. They cleared bot as they were capping at one point during the fight. The wave just kind of rammed in.
That's fair.
I'm ready for Shield Breaker variant at 13 though.
We'll see.
That'll be a game changer.
You never know. About 20% of the time I mispick that because I don't think about it, so we'll see if that happens. Oh, variant! Sorry, go ahead. I was good.
Zeratul did go Void Prison rather than resets.
Oh, we're doing
combo wombo.
Yeah, we're doing Blessed Shield, Void Prison to Blessed Shield into Junkrat Bomb. March.
Like yeah, it's March again, so he's probably just gonna march into the Void Prison with the Light Bomb or something. Oh, I sucked. Light Bomb's the wrong team. Silly me.
Yeah, I was also cursing the van because he went Protect. Which I guess, maybe, I don't know. I'm lukewarm on that one. As we see the Void Prison come out, a bunch of damage coming onto the variant. The Protect does save his life, proving me wrong instantly. But it won't be enough because Zeratul finishes off that kill.
Zeratul's do.
I don't really like how Mallow Oats approached that. They kind of were just like haphazardly kind of engaging. And with Vanity, it's like all or nothing. You know, like you're purposely in or you're purposely out. And
yeah. I also feel like they're not recognizing that Zeratul's starting to become a real threat, similar to early game when Speeder Team Comp didn't recognize the variant turn on. Like you have to really be committal with the Zeratul too, because he will pick you off if you're low, and then get out.
Yeah, and you're kind of watching CDs here, as you know most of the alt CDs are probably still down, so you want to go in now, as we see. And there we go.
That's a nice job.
Making me look smart.
Oh.
That
was they barely got that Junkrat, but boy, they did.
Oh, and we see a Blessed Shield coming out onto their team, and Pie Maker's gonna escape with almost no health. As Jeff comes in for the rotate, it is a full brawl down here bottom lane, but looks like no kills are gonna be had. And that's advantage Mallow Oats, considering they are down a talent tier during that fight, so they get away with that. For sure.
Yeah, although I think they did have it was a 4v4 or 4v5 because of the Junkrat being down prior.
Yeah. So at this point in the game, you have a slight structure lead, you have a 12-shot lead, but the game's slowly turning away from you scaling-wise. So what are you going to do as Mallow Oats to kind of keep yourself from this game turning on you?
I think you just have to play smart. Like, I know that's not a a very interesting thing to say, or a very like deep thing, but like the Zeratul picks really like thrive on catching you off guard, and so you just have to play tight. Like you can't make mistakes, you can't get caught out by the Zeratul. You have to play like you're under pressure, and you have to really start focusing on these towers. So the longer this game goes, the worse it's going to be. Like, in situations like this, I actually want to be mad if they do an early boss. I know it gives off a lot of tower pressure, so typically it's not good. But it's more about speeding up that game and making it end earlier.
We do see a 5v4 here, though.
Yeah.
As the hack is in, so Sanji Cup's still taking the fight. As the blow-up is coming up onto the... Oh, the Brightwing just barely escapes. But Bricky does not in the silence. That's...
No, they were... Sorry.
Go ahead.
They were fighting the minion wave, which is why the Brightwing escaped. All the Ming's damage just hit the minions right in front of them.
That's unfortunate. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
I also hate to say that phrase, but it just came out.
Recovering what you hate.
I will say that's my answer to how they win this. Mallow Oats keeps this lead, and now it's becoming a lot easier bottom for it.
Yeah.
Is you need to use that global pressure to get Leo away from them, and then teleport in for the 5v4s. You need to really use that global, because I don't think you win straight up 4v4s anymore with ults up.
No.
Ults down, way more advantage to Mallow Oats, but ults up, I give the advantage to Strange Team Comp.
Yeah, but even with that, even with ults down, I think the Zeratul pick is getting higher and higher. And if they're fast and can avoid the variant, I think it could go either way.
Alright, so
But-
do we fall into the long old trap of everyone just stays bottom and dances around? Oh, and we see a taunt coming onto the Junkrat, but Junkrat is able to jump out as the Calamity main gets into a little bit of danger with the aggressive play there, but ultimately nothing really happens as both teams back out. But we do see Light Bomb going down, but Blessed Shield being traded for it. Important to note, this is a 4v3 because Zeratul is mucking around in the other lanes.
Oh, we do see a taller Joanna. She gets away.
So we have quite a weird tower setup now, where it's 4-4, but each with an enemy tower traded out.
Yeah.
What's the play here? I mean, Strange Team Comp, I would guess the play is to immediately leave now and go for top 2 and give bottom.
Yeah.
But they're kind of hanging around bottom.
They might be trying to play it so they can get bot while they cap top, as they do have 2 tops still. So they're probably confident they can get that with only Dahaka.
I guess so. That's fair. They're not sending any support, necessarily.
But Dahaka can survive, he can't kill those 2, right?
Oh, Greymane's coming up, though.
Right.
And the
there's
silence...
a tongue on the Zeratul. I think you're ahead of me a few seconds now.
Yeah, I'll,
That's okay. Oh, it is what it is.
I'll, like, pause it, and I'll
No,
pause
no,
it.
it's
There you
fine. Just tell me the timestamp you're at.
go. 52, 53, 54.
Okay, we're good. I'm now 1 second ahead.
Lucky you.
Yeah, the classic replay watched.
So they kept back middle with that Zeratul gank. So that kind of plan didn't really work out for Strange Team Comp there, because they obviously lost the Zeratul. They didn't get the cap, I don't think. And now it's a 20-point lead. So it's grown from an 8-point lead to a 20-point, or 12-point lead to a 20-point lead. In the late game.
I do. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I would actually really like a boss. I know, again, it's not the best because Cam's pushing on, but if they could squeeze it, I think it's the right call. Just change that math from Mallow specifically.
Absolutely. We do have slight structure advantage for Strange Team Comp now, though, with top half down. But it's going to be hard to finish that off completely, although they keep committing 2 people to the top 2 lanes.
Yeah. Also, Dahaka keeps burrowing bot, which definitely lets the wave crash. At least some of it, if not all.
But you can give up that macro value if you're certain you can get picks and keep getting shrines, if that makes sense. Because you only need 8 more. So losing 1 tower doesn't change the map terribly. It's not optimal, obviously, but it doesn't really change the map.
Is Jeff gonna die here? No, he got the W off before the silence. Barely.
But if teleport is up, it will create an outnumbered fight down in the bot lane here.
Zeratul's also still mid, and Jeff does have to regen most of his health still from the tap.
All ults up though, except Dahaka, so we could see a VP here.
Oh.
Junkrat being max level annoying here.
Oh, that's a 5 minutes. Okay, it's not 20. That would have been a full reset.
We see a nice cursed bullet, but Brightwing negates all of that.
I'd watch the Zeratul from top side.
He does nice damage, but he VPs as he dies. They're gonna lose this. They're gonna lose this objective, but they do have structure value currently.
Yeah.
Bricky, what are you doing? No, Bricky!
So the nice part about them getting top though, right before the cap, is that it kind of doesn't matter that the cap now, because it doesn't change. That cap doesn't change the math by any means.
Right.
Right.
Except pumpkins.
Yes, pumpkins are the variable, but it's still gonna take. Oh, okay, that Junkrat almost. A little too close.
But go ahead.
Yeah, it's just math-wise, they still need 2 away, which is why I would really rather them actually just go boss with the death timers. They need to changing the math is very useful in my opinion about just pushing the other team to have to force to decide 2 bads, 2 worses. And I think you could have taken top or contested Leoric and done boss. Yes, you wouldn't have gotten the bot, which is a powerful lane, but at this point, like, you don't really need to lane.
No, although you do have 2 structures over, so that's probably going to result in everyone getting their own towers back.
Yeah.
I would assume. So yeah, Mallow Oats is giving bot tower. I don't love that for them.
No, I would much rather they stuck it. But Greymane is not with there. And Zeratul is scary to Lee into it. I really wish this Lee Ming took the level 1 magic for this. It would have made her a lot safer, especially considering he went Void Prison. And Q build. It would have like half the damage from that.
That's fair. So we're in a point now where Mallow Oats needs 1. But ideally, if you're going to do a comeback, you need both of these, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, you never want to be with 1 health on towers. That's just asking for you to be set up. They are doing camp now. I don't really like the timing of this. Yeah.
I don't love it, but it's not going to punish them.
Well, they lost a lot of positioning, and Brightwing's now getting bottom. But that also means Brightwing's currently not in here to save the Zeratul.
Oh, though he gets out.
Oh my god.
And do we have... No, go ahead.
Dahaka falls, soon to be Varian as well, I'd assume. And Li Ming is both low and kind of out of the fight, although she is providing lots of damage. Stranger Team Comp gets both, right?
They get both? I think they're being greedy and... Well, not greedy, but they're waiting out the cap bottom so that they can get 5. And this is the type of, like, math optimization that you need at this point in the game when you're down 20 shots. You're still at 5, so boss isn't killed, but I think you want to take it off the map nonetheless, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it's like how I was mentioning earlier, like, you really don't want to be 1 away, just because when there's, like, a 3 objective up, you're to be so split. But,
yeah. But do you like them giving up structure bottom for the boss? Is that worth in your mind? It's a tough call.
So.
But
I think so. It's not laning phase anymore. I think Mallet, like, there's no reason for Mallets to be bottom. Like, yes, the next objective's there, but it's going to come down to a 5v5 no matter what. And if they can take top for it on top of that...
That is fair.
Like, again, I'm just mentioning, I think boss is such a strong play for Mallow. It's that they have to take it off the map. And they have to reduce that deficit of towers or points, whatever it's called.
So I hate to land this even more, but the attempted gank onto Leo there, if we saw some glass cannon, I think he would have died. Just saying.
You don't want to glass cannon this game.
No, I'm kidding. No. But if you went more of a Q build, at least Seeker.
Yeah.
Would have been kill, probably.
But we're biased.
We're biased for sure. As we see an attack down onto bottom tower here, as they took top tower. So I was actually wrong. Boss is the right call because they got top tower out of it. So it was trading towers out, which you'll take every day. And Leo's still mid, so you kind of want to bring him in soon, but you do have a minion wave in camp kind of helping you zone out a little bit.
They're looking for kills, not cap here, which is an important distinction.
It's going to be a full push-off, though, as Riptire chases everyone away. Oof!
The Ming ult on the Junkrat, but Variant's gonna...
Double Leap of Faith, no more Leap of Faiths available now. As it is kind of a posture, maybe they'll drop someone back and try and start capping, and that's what they'll do.
I'm a little worried though, because Variant's entering this fight half health. Well, I guess he healed up real quick there. Never mind.
The cap goes over. You need to not panic. Mallow Oats is on a bit of a tilt here. And... Ooh, they're looking for a 5v5. And if either team wipes here, I'm going to say it's GG for that respective team. But everyone's going to stay alive just barely. You need the reset if you're Mallow Oats. You're not in a good spot here.
Yeah. I think also, I do think Mallow Oats also had to play a little more on the rotation game when they were trading forts. And just try and catch them coming down or something. I do think like they're struggling to get through that thick front line with the Li Ming and Greymane even. I think like you have to catch the Zeratul not in position, or you have to catch even someone away.
Especially they're getting greedy and positioning up around this camp here, and they really don't need camps at this point in the game. As we do see another cap, so it's a single tower, and it's a weak tower at that down in bottom lane. So coming in for the 5 cap. And they're going to try and do that through the camp, stealing the camp, which I think is a good move. But Dahaka's going to get this up in time, so it's going to just be 5. It's never going to be 6, I don't think.
No.
Oh, we see a nice flank coming in from the Leo that blows up that Li Ming.
I think that's game then.
It's game, for sure. Because Mallow Oats is going to have to really stall out the top. Oof. And they get caught in a huge void prison.
Yep, that's game. There's the game.
Oh!
I mean, I think it was...
Wait, Zeratul went poof?
Well, the game's back on.
The game's back on.
But Leo's top already, and that's the game.
That's... Yeah.
That's the actual game. They can't interrupt the Leo, which they didn't.
Ooh, so back and forth. For sure.
Now
For
that's
sure.
the game.
I mean, it's still a 4v4.
No, there's still a chance for sure. But they haven't been winning fights. The Junkrat is there, so they have to have a quick fight.
Leo's a big issue with his level 20, though.
Yeah.
He's
and
a big
Junkrat
issue.
in a small corridor of this area is getting so much value. There goes Dirk. He will be remembered.
It's gonna be a 4-man wipe, and this is GG. Hasn't been called yet, but it's gonna be coming over. As we have a... Oof. It's not a reverse sweep in the traditional sense, but I'm gonna call it a reverse sweep based on the games of up to 16. Both games were Mallow Oats' hands, and Strange Team Comp brought them back late, so I'm calling it the reverse sweep. Let's say if I bring up the stats here.
What do you think that Mallow could have done to win?
They were on tilt for a little bit longer than they would have liked, for sure. Michelin asking me who is last seed now. Absolutely gonna eat my words on that one. Although I will say, I think I said this in the power rankings. I didn't have any knowledge to go on, so I had to put the only team that got dominated week 1 last. But that's certainly gonna change after they just beat the seed I put first in a dominant. Well, I wouldn't say the games were dominant, but the overall domination, the points were dominant. The points speak for themselves. The win rate's dominant.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to see some movement around. I'm not afraid to change things up from week to week. So that's going to be... I'm going to be looking like Charlie Day from Always Sunny with the yarn on the wall, just reconfiguring everything up there. And
he'll be fired 2 weeks ago, but still working it.
Yeah, for sure. Let me go to the game summary here as we can kind of break down, because I do think it's worth dissecting a little bit more what happened to Mallow Oats there. I think they got very stuck in the mindset of like must control bottom.
Yeah.
And then they kept losing macro value in the top 2 lanes. And then objective came up, and they still had Dahaka clearing a bit longer and worrying about that macro value. When I think they just either sacrifice all-out team fights. I don't know. I think they got stuck in kind of a linear mindset when the game was changing quite a bit, and the different values of the different scaling. Like 16 and 20, it was clearly going over for the side of Strange Team Comp, and I didn't see a change in gameplay style to kind of match that.
No, I think they also didn't respect the level 20 spike of Zeratul, or 16. Like, I mentioned what I wanted them to do of getting boss when they were still in the lead and had 2 down instead of taking bot tower. I wanted to see them rotating a little more mid to gank, to try and catch them off guard. Because that's really what you want with the Varian, Ming, and Greyman. You want to taunt dead.
You want surprise, for sure.
Yeah, and to do that, like, I'm very picky about my Ming builds because I play a lot of Ming. But I would have loved to see the level 20. There's a talent that gives you like 50 to 20% more damage, depending on how you do it. I just felt like the Ming was playing scared of the Zeratul with her build, for obvious reasons. But she didn't get the level 1. which kind of makes the whole thing a little redundant in my mind. Like you're gonna die either way to him. So I don't know. I don't get it. But that's also me being picky and a little.
I think Strange Team Comp also did a really good job. Other than that one fight early where they lost 2 people to stall out objective, which lost them bot force. It was actually quite a big hit. Other than that, they played fights really slow. They didn't panic. And you didn't see the panic in their play when they only had 5 health left on their core. They stayed really patient. And they really kind of, gave... I mean, this might be an outdated term, but they gave Mallow Oats enough rope to hang themselves, and that they just kept being steady, and their comp worked where you draw them in, you void prison, and you return all of them. Is kind of how you want to go, and they kept doing that rather than getting panicky and trying to make something happen. Because if you try to make something happen, you're going to get overextended, and you're going to get punished by the blow up potential.
Although I'd argue that the void prisons were what won this game. Like most of the void prisons, actually resulted in a counter kill, like the Zeratul at the end there.
No, for sure.
I think it was just mostly that Zeratul has a lot of burst damage, and they drafted for a long poke fight, and Mallow Oats drafted for a short burst fight, and Mallow Oats would not get their burst, and they'd stay in.
Right. For sure. And the lack of dynamic. Like, you could always see what angle the variant was coming at.
Oh, yeah.
And it was never in a bush. And then part of that is the trap build of Junkrat, covering flank angles and bushes and stuff. But that's where you'd like to see an all out of sight, mount up, rotate the Leo. Even if you don't kill him, if you chunk him, he's going to have to back. As a solo laner, everyone's focused on the kill. It's not always the kill, especially with Leo who comes back faster. It's if you chunk him, he has to go back, and that's a lot of time.
Yeah. I also would have loved to see some more taunts on the Joanna, just to chunk the tank, get her out. Because, they felt like they were waiting for those perfect fix a little too long.
That's fair. Although you can
follow-up for the Ming.
You can understand why the variant might want to hold taunt for a Zeratul, but then they didn't have enough follow-up CC to kill him. It was awkward.
And then I get why they did what they did, and we're kind of ragging on Mallow Oats, but come a few weeks when we face them, they're gonna wipe the floor with us probably. But it's just small things that could have changed the fights. I would have loved they just do Joanna and then they get out. They reset for a half second, because Brightwing will struggle to do that twice, even once.
That's fair.
But yeah.
Anyways, let's wrap up here, so we're not too long-winded. Let's go to the best of 3 screen. So that was Strange Team Comp with a dominant performance to put themselves back in the standings. I believe that puts them in the middle of the pack, points-wise. And now Mallow Oats, a team I had first, a team, not just me, people I talked to else in the division about this division in general, had them highly rated.
Can't forget Keys power rate ranking too.
And Keys power rankings. Now is looking for their first win of the season, so I wouldn't want to be the one facing them next week. For sure. Because I think they're going to revamp them. No, it's not us. I think it's very late in the season. So,
all right. I thought you were setting us up there for a fall.
No, but we are facing Strange Team Comp next week.
Ooh.
Who both has a vendetta against me for my power rankings, and looks like they've got their stuff together for week 3. Because this is the type of team you definitely don't want to face. Because it's oh, we're winning. Oh, never mind, we lost. Those, you hate to face those teams. Tricky Gooses is like that, where it's no matter how much you feel like you have the upper hand, they have that ability to kind of return uppercut and push back, and that's always scary to face. So, hopefully we get casted, and, it will be a good match. But thank you again for watching. For anyone who watches the replay cast, this has been Canadian Corner with Liddell and Silver. Looking to cast more this season, probably just replay cast, but thanks for joining us.
Till next time.